All right, hopefully this is coming through good. We've got our view of Jupiter and Saturn at the eyepiece right now. They are really, really low towards the horizon, so there's a lot of atmosphere we're looking through. So it's shaken. The details are being lost, unfortunately, but we are seeing both of them in the same field of view, and that's basically the big conjunction for 2020. That getting both of these in the same field of view so close together is a really rare phenomenon that does not happen very, very often. I think the last time that they were similar close was about 400 years ago. Now, every 20 years, Jupiter laps Saturn in its orbit around the sun, and they do get, very, very close in the night sky. But we're talking about, a degree or even 2 degrees from one another. This particular conjunction is very close. We are looking at this, and they are basically well under a degree, 1/10 of a degree in separation. So it's a very, very rare event. Even another event, which is exceedingly rare, that won't happen in any of our lifetimes to come, is going to be when there's actually a conjunction where Jupiter occults Saturn, which means goes directly in front of Saturn from our field of view. But um, gosh, the next one's going to happen like 7,432 AD. So none of us are going to be around for that. But hey, you're here for this one. We're broadcasting live. We are seeing Saturn on the left, Jupiter, of course, on the right. Now we are getting uh, adjusting the exposures to basically view both planets well. I'm actually adjusting the exposure to show more of Saturn's rings right now than Jupiter's disk. But if you were at the eyepiece of a telescope, you would be able to go ahead and make out both of these objects very, very well, just with a minor. You might not even have to do any type of minor refocusing to bring one or the other in. But the problem is they are so low, so you're going to be seeing a lot of atmosphere, and that's why things are shaking and shimmering as they are. But let's adjust our exposure. We've got Saturn on the left. We do have, let's see, we still have three of the moons of Jupiter, actually four. If I move the scope a little bit up here, let me just adjust that. Those, of course, are the four Galilean moons of Jupiter. And Europa is the top most one, I believe, if memory serves me correct. Then you have Ganymede, which is closest to Jupiter's disk there. Then you have Io, and then way out is Callisto. Now, let me just make sure that my memory serves me correctly from that. Just viewed it not too long ago, but want to make sure that I'm giving accurate information, of course. Yes, Callisto is the one that is at the very, very, very bottom of our field of view. In fact, let's go ahead and just adjust our gain a bit here to show you a little bit more of the Galilean moons. Now, if you had a pair of binoculars, even a pair of 7 by 50, you would be able to see the Galilean moons no problem. And also, it looks like we've got two moons. Hopefully, that's coming through in the live stream okay with Saturn as well. Just to the upper left of Saturn, barely making out in our field of view. Let's see if we can up our gain just a little bit more without blowing everything out. Maybe not. It might be a little hard to see, but in Saturn's view, if you were to look to Saturn at about the 10 o'clock position, you would go ahead and see Titan. And I believe Rhea is the object that is, a fair amount of distance, probably five or so lengths down from Saturn, probably about the 5 o'clock position. Obviously, the Galilean moons of Jupiter are much, much brighter and coming through fairly decently here. On our view, we're using an 8-inch scope with oh, I am using a reducer because I mostly do deep sky work and a ZWO 294 color camera which at its native resolution, these would only be dots. So I've got this kind of zoomed in. We're using a resolution of about 1024 by 768. So really, really zoomed in as really much as we can for tonight's broadcast. So hopefully that is coming through okay. Let's try to make a little bit adjustment to see if we can see some of the cloud bands on Jupiter. The predominant band, there's two predominant ones. There's North Equatorial Belt and South Equatorial Belt. Let's go ahead and drop our exposure down just a tad. All right, so that's about as much as we can do with our gain. Let's go a little bit further. Yeah, so that hopefully that's coming through okay. That is showing you, I mean, I can barely make out one of the cloud bands. It's almost vertical on the planet. I can't tell you offhand if that's the North Equatorial Belt or the South Equatorial Belt, but it's hopefully coming through periodically as the atmosphere kind of settles as much as it's going to settle with it being as low as it is. Let's switch over to our stellarium field of view, kind of to give you an idea of just how low these objects are. Of course, if you were to step outside and look towards the southwest, and you're clear, as I am here in Middle Tennessee right now, you'd have no problem going ahead and seeing this as a very, very close two dots of light. Of course, that's why they call it a conjunction, because they are very close in the night sky. Let's switch to our stellarium view here. And stellarium's telling us that it's about 11 degrees high in the from the horizon. So that's really, really low for planetary work. If most of the time any amateur is going to tell you that for planetary observing, you probably, yes, you can see these objects, of course, but to really be the best view, you'll want to get them much, much higher in the evening sky. I would probably say about 30 degrees would be usually the minimum of getting a decent view. When you get lower than that, you really do start to get into the atmosphere, but it's a beautiful view if you were to step outside and see these objects for yourself. Let's switch back to our telescopic view at the eyepiece, and there's the objects right there. Saturn, of course, is to the left. I can clearly make out the ring system there. And then, of course, Jupiter to the right and some of the moons. So we're going to go back to playing a little bit of the ambient music right here at the eyepiece where you enjoy the 2020 conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. Okay, I think I got my whiteboard issue resolved. So let me go ahead and maybe help out those that might be viewing now or later after this is recorded on up. We're going to increase our exposure time here because I just wanted to go ahead and highlight these moons for everybody so that we can identify those. So right here, that should be Europa. Io is here. Callisto is there. And if you remember, we were watching here a little bit ago. Ganymede was really close, right about in that section, but it's not there. And that's because it is either in front of Jupiter or behind Jupiter from our point of view. That's one of the really neat things about Jupiter, why it's my favorite planet, is because there's just so many things that you can observe from the Galilean moons to these moons going in front of Jupiter. And at times they actually throw a shadow onto Jupiter that you can track visually with a telescope. So pretty neat there. Now, Titan, I believe, is right here on Saturn. And this location here, that should be the moon Rhea, if I'm not mistaken. So instead of drawing an arrow, or I'll draw a line here. So that's Titan and that's Rhea. Hopefully that is coming through on the broadcast pretty clear. So now that we got our whiteboard issue, looks like that's resolved. Let's go ahead and just tone down the exposure just a bit. Let's get our views a little bit, as the broadcast probably won't go on for too much longer because it looks like it's starting to get into the tree branches here shortly for me where I'm at. But I'm so thankful that it was clear and it was high enough to go ahead and do this to begin with. So, because these events are extremely rare, this is a once in a lifetime uh, event for you to go ahead and see live. So I'm thrilled to have been able to share that with you. Let's go ahead and just up our exposure just a little bit more. The seeing being it's getting so low is really mushing things up a bit there for our view with Saturn, but you can still make out the rings. You can still definitely make out the rings. It's coming through pretty good. All right, so enough of my yapping. I'm going to go ahead and put on some music here and let you enjoy the view right here live at the eyepiece. All right, hopefully you like a little festive music. We had a request for some Christmas music, so hey, I'm here to please put the requests in, and I'll try to play what I can from the website that allows me to play that music. We probably will be wrapping up though pretty soon. The view is really getting quite mushy right now as it gets lower and lower, and I think, yeah, I can't even look out through the observatory door here and see it myself. So I think part of the issue that we're getting right now on the screen, unfortunately, is some of the branches for the trees and things are getting just in the way. It's going to either block our view and or make it really kind of fuzzy. And I really think that's what's going on right now. So we'll leave this up just for a moment and we'll wrap it up here just in a second. So thanks everybody for viewing. Was so pleased to be able to get out and show this once in a lifetime event. And I do encourage you, if it's still clear out where you are locally, step outside and take a look towards your southwest. In fact, let's go ahead and call up real quick our Stellarium program. You'll see just to the southwest where we're approximately looking. So it's very, very low, as you can see right now. In fact, it's below 10 degrees. So 10 degrees, if you were to put your hand out and make a fist, that width between the bottom of your fist to about where your thumb is approximately 10 degrees. So we're pretty low for any type of observing of this particular object, but I'm glad to have shared it here. So let's go ahead and just listen to a music one more for a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up our Jupiter and Saturn conjunction 2020. are going to go ahead and switch gears and point the telescope to the moon, and we'll broadcast the moon for just a little while, and we'll wrap up the at the eyepiece broadcast on that object. So give me a moment, and we'll switch gears here from our 2020 conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn to our closest celestial neighbor, the moon.
You keep me winter warm. It's cold and wet, but I won't get upset. With you, I'm always winter warm. The skies are gray, but I'm not feeling blue, in spite of never seeing such a storm. As long as I keep holding on to you, I know that I'll be winter warm. Here in your arms, there's no other place that I ever would rather be. Close to the one who changed my life from loneliness to happiness for me. It's 10 below and there's no place to go, so we'll just stay here winter warm. A fireplace and locked in your embrace, I know that I'll be winter warm. The skies are gray, but I'm not feeling blue, in spite of never seeing such a storm. As long as I keep holding on to you, I know that I'll be winter warm.
Had to give a wave to a few people that were seeing the broadcast. All right, so we are on. We're on the moon. Well, as close as we can be on the moon. And we're at our full resolution of the camera right now, so we can go ahead and adjust that a bit so that we can get a little bit closer up details. Let's see how that comes through here. There we go. That's a little bit of a nicer view there because we are just a little bit up close and personal right there on the Terminator. And by Terminator, I don't mean Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the Terminator is that line of details right along the edge here of where the shadow is over in this side to where the light is over on, of course, that side. So all of these details along this section here are just really, really wonderful to go ahead and view telescopically. So I'll let you enjoy the view here. Let me up it a bit in the view. Whoa. And we'll get back to playing a little bit of festive music so that, well, we can be as festive as we can for 2020. So sit back and enjoy the view right here at the eyepiece.
I saw three ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. On Jesus sailed the ships so free. On Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Jesus sailed the ships so free. On Christmas Day in the morning. The ships sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem on Christmas Day in the morning. On Christmas Day, the bells on earth shall ring. On Christmas Day, and all the bells on earth shall ring on Christmas Day in the morning. All the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the angels in heaven shall sing on Christmas Day in the morning. Angels of God, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. All to be Christmas Day in the morning.
winter comes to town. Good folk come a running from miles around. Over the rooftops from town to town, you can hear that Christmas big band sound when Old Man Winter comes to town. When Old Man Winter sings the blues, the word is out, his face is on the news. When he sings, the bells will chime. Come on, everybody, it's Christmas time. When Old Man Winter sings the blues, he's the king of swing, keeping jive alive. From the jukebox city to the Christmas county vibe. Mistletoe in Tinseltown, people dancing, getting down to Old Man Winter's traveling Christmas band. When Old Man Winter hits the road, the party starts and the good time's gonna roll. In cars and trains they cross the land to hear that same mixed Christmas band. When Old Man Winter hits the road. All right. He's the king of cool, Diablo #1. He's the spirit of Christmas here since time begun. At 12 o'clock each Christmas Eve, if the kids and adults all believe, they'll see that Old Man Winter sing his song. When Old Man Winter comes to town, the music plays that well-known Christmas sound. The kids leave whiskey and something sweet to hear old Rudolph dancing feet. When Old Man Winter comes to town. When Old Man Winter comes to town. When Old Man Winter, Old Man Winter comes to town.
everybody. This is John here at the Eyepiece. I'm going to wrap up tonight's broadcast for now, and I sure wish everybody enjoyed the conjunction, the once in a lifetime deal. We had a little fun at the end with our dancing Santa. Hopefully, everybody enjoyed that as well as the gorgeous view of the moon. There we go. Do just a little bit more adjustments on that view. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous view tonight of the moon. Moon's always a lot of fun to enjoy. If you were interested in getting a program that helps you identify some of these features on the moon, a free program is called Virtual Moon Atlas. It's a free download. Highly recommend that you download that. It's a lot of fun to go ahead outside with a scope and use that program to try to track down some of the features that you're seeing there tonight. So, anyway, hopefully have a great Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And thanks for staying on and watching the broadcast tonight right here at the Eyepiece. Until next time, clear skies. Thanks, everybody.